Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode in our channel, Sets TV. And this is the podcast called El Jangueo de los Viernes. But today we have an English version again. So I'm here with my mom, Leslie. If you haven't seen her, you just have to go look at all the other videos. She has two different podcasts. She has Caminando en tus zapatos and she has Somos Uno. So make sure you go check that out. It's in Spanish, but I feel like it will bless you. And today we have no other than a person that we appreciate, a person that we love, a person that is a brother, a friend of the family, and it's an honor for me to be here again with Nino Carrasquillo. Nino, welcome back.
Welcome back, Papa.
Thank you.
This is the second episode we do together, based on the theme or the subject of the cost of the truth. Mm-hmm. The first one really blessed us. If you haven't seen the first ones, make sure you go up and you go check it out, and then come back to this one so you can understand this one. Okay, go ahead and just.
Yeah, this is the sequel. Yeah, this is the sequel of what we were speaking in the first class, right? Which you told me that. Leslie, what happened? You didn't talk too much. I was speechless. I was like, wow. Like, you always blow my mind. So I know you're going to do that today. So,
Amen. First of all, thank you. Like always, and thank everybody who's watching. I believe we're in a good time as far as believers and as human beings. I think God is going to do something incredible. I wanted to share with you. That's why I was asking you before the show. What was the name? Was this Caminando en tus zapatos, which in English it means walking in your shoes. Mm-hmm. Because I was praying a lot for it, and that's going to be very successful.
Amen.
The Lord just put that in my heart, and I want to let you know that that's going to be very successful. So keep doing what you're doing. I encourage you. And el jangueo
de los viernes.
De los viernes. Hanging out on Fridays. Good. Make sure that you always bring people who are going to speak the pure truths of God. That's my one advice to you. Yeah. Because there's just too many people that are bringing it looking pretty, and it's not the truth of God. And
Amen.
That's one of the things we're going to talk about right now. And at no given point am I saying, hey, I have exclusive rights to truth. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we need to be careful because of the time we're living in. And I'm going to go straight into the studies because I think it's going to reveal to you guys certain truths that you're going to say, oh, my Lord, wait up. All right, so when purpose has been defined, our perspective is made clear. Once we got our purpose defined, once we understand our purpose, then our perspective becomes real clear. There's no detouring us. There's no backsides. There's no shortcuts. By the way, shortcuts end up getting you cut.
Yeah.
It's best to take the long road like Jesus did and give God all the glory. So when our purpose has been defined, then our perspective is made very clear.
Like Paul.
Once he understood his purpose, then his perspective is clear.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we miss out a lot. A lot of times we don't understand our purpose, so our perspective is then distorted. So the cry for everyone that's watching us should be, Lord, define my purpose. Make it clear to me. Not a patty cake around it. Make it clear so that then my perspective then is really defined to me. With that being said, truth is serious business. We're like Leslie just finished from saying, this is part 2 of the course of truth. Mm-hmm. I also would love to do this in Spanish because it needs to be heard. Mm-hmm. When we originally said it, we said, Mira, quiero hablar sobre el costo de la verdad, which means I want to talk about the course of truth. Yeah. So let both languages, since we have the ability to do that by the grace of God, that we could do it in both languages. But here's what I'm saying. Truth is serious work. Mm-hmm. This is serious work. And you guys are going to really start seeing this in detail as we go along here. Truth is the new hate speech.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you know that, but truth is the new hate speech. During the time of universal deceit, telling the truth is now an inflammatory act. We got people saying they are this, they are that, and we as Christians, this is not our time to shut it down. This is our time to speak up. If you see something, the slogan in the airport is if you see something, say something. Mm-hmm. And we Christians, this is not the time to shut it down.
We got to be more vocal.
We got to be more vocal, and not just more vocal in church. And above all, you can be vocal without bringing in an attitude into it. You understand? That I think that's one of the problems we have with truth. There's too much attitude involved in it. But nonetheless, truth is the new hate speech. This is the reality of the matter. The truth of the matter is that we do not have a problem with truth. The problem we have with truth is the action that truth demands.
What is that action?
Truth demands an action. Whenever God speaks a truth, he demands for you to act upon that particular truth. If he says, love your neighbor, here's the truth. Now it demands for you to take the action of loving your neighbor.
Yeah.
You understand? So truth is not something you just listen to and that's it. Oh, wow. And you're blown away. Truth demands, listen to what I'm using.
Yeah.
It demands an action. So whatever that truth may be, if it says to love your enemy, it demands that I take the action of loving that enemy. It's not optional. You understand me? So in a time where truth is the new hate speech, truth has always demanded an action. Since truth demands an action, that means that truth demands a change.
It confronts you.
It confronts you.
Yeah.
So now you have to change.
And there are a lot of people that don't like to be confronted.
No. No. So if truth is saying that you're a he, you're a he.
Come on.
If you're a she, you're a she. It doesn't patty cakes. It doesn't play around. It is serious business. It's serious work. So truth demands a change. Partial truth is what we use to compose a complete lie. Isn't that interesting? That we take part of the truth and that's what we use to then present a complete lie.
That's what Satan does.
That's what he does. If you notice, that's what they did to put Jesus on the cross. They took a partial truth, then they mixed in all this other stuff, and now he's being hung on a cross by a lie. So a partial truth, it's what's used to make a complete lie. Now, no one enter into their God-chosen destiny using deception. No one.
¿Cómo?
I'll say it again. No one enter into their God-designed, God-chosen destiny using deception.
Wow.
Got a question. What is deception?
Okay. Deception is anything that's leading you into a path that was not intended for you to take. If you guys watch, and I don't know if those of you who are watching have watched AA 5.0, which AA stands for Anointed Academia 5.0. I give that every third Tuesday. And I'm doing a whole complete study on Isaac, Rebekah, Jacob, and Esau. And even Jacob, if you notice that whole deception that took place, he could not enter into his destiny in deception. This is why God has to confront him. He has to end up with a limp. Because no one enters into their God-chosen destiny with deception. God would not allow it.
Wow.
It has to be purely truth.
But casi, that's the way religion operates. That's exactly how it operates.
Yes.
Every religion, without taking out any denomination. Every religion, like they just put half truth to whatever they think, o lo que le conviene a ellos. Like,
if you take a half a truth and then try to sell it like a whole lie, you're doing the enemy's work.
Of course. Wow.
Now, no one entered into the God-chosen destiny using deception. When the enemy is first introduced to us, he's introduced to us lying. Lying is Satan's primary weapon for God's children. That's his primary weapon. He didn't go into the Garden of Eden, to deceive Eve by making her sick. He didn't go into the Garden of Eve by producing some sort of financial problem. He went in with a lie. That's his primary tool. When he's first being introduced to us, there's a principle that's called the principles of first in the Bible. The first time something shows up, it's establishing to you a lot about that thing. In the case of the enemy, when he first shows up to us, he's not putting sickness on evil Adam. He's lying to them. There's a big difference there. You guys are understanding me, right?
So he attacks your identity
by coming in with a lie.
Right.
Just lying to you. Yeah. So that is his primary weapon. Are you listening? That's his primary weapon.
That's why he's the father of lies.
We're going to get there. Watch this. The enemy uses lies the same way God uses truth.
Oh, wow.
God uses truth to create something. The enemy uses lies to create something.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
God uses truth to create something. The enemy uses lies to create something. So he sees how God uses truth. So he says, well, I'm going to use a lie.
Yeah.
Okay. Watch this. The enemy, Satan, is called the father of lie, which makes him the original liar. I call him the OGL, the original liar. He's the OG of lies.
Yeah.
He's
That's
the
a good
original.
one.
I like that.
I like that one, yeah.
Watch this. The first lie ever told in the history was told by Satan, and it is recorded in the Garden of Eden. We just spoke about that. And after planting a seed of doubt in Eve's mind with a question, that's Genesis 3:1, he directly contradicts God's word by telling her, you will not surely die. Now watch this. With that lie, Satan led Eve to death. Adam followed. And to this day, we all are following that same path. Now watch this. I'm saying all of that because I really want to get to something that you have to understand. Now, I don't know if you notice it, but let's take a closer look at this. When you go to Genesis chapter 3, verse 5, it says, for God does know that the day you eat from it, your eyes shall be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. This was the lie he's putting in there. Now watch this. Maybe you didn't see the detail, but I'm going to show you exactly what's going on here. When you go to Isaiah 14, verse 13 and 14, listen to what he says. This is Satan as Lucifer. Watch this. For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into the heavens. I will exalt my thrones above the stars of God. I will sit along also upon the mountain of the congregation in the side of the north. Then he says, I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. To Eve he said, you will be like God. And he himself said, I will be like the Most High. Okay. The first person to ever advocate equal rights was Satan.
Oh, come on.
We're living in a time where we are fighting for equal rights. The woman wants the same rights as men. You got men wanting, we want a guy who's in the minor wants the salary of the guy who's in the major. So the first one to ever advocate equal rights was Satan. God never, I'm sure some of you are going to go ahead and write, but listen, I'm here. God never spoke about equality. He spoke about equity.
Come on.
You define the difference between the two?
Okay. Equality is, let's say there's a big fence and Robert is standing there. You're standing right next to him and I'm standing next to you. There's a ball game happening behind this fence. Robert is tall enough to see the game. You could barely see it. I can't see it at all. I'm the small man there. Equality is they now give us a milk crate. Robert stands on it, you stand on it, and I stand on it. Robert was seeing the game without the crate. You were seeing it, but you needed the crate. You give me the crate, I'm still too short to see it. Equality is we all got the same thing, but it did not benefit me. Equity is when the three crates are given, Robert says, I don't need it, I'm going to give it to Nino.
Wow.
Now Robert can see the game, you can see the game, and I needed 2 boxes so that I can now enjoy what you both were doing. Jesus never came talking about equity. He was talking about, equality. He was talking about equity. This is why he says, I'll bless you so that what? You can bless others.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The idea behind it is that, bro, I can see this. Nino can't. God just blessed me. Here, Nino. So that you could have the view that I have.
Yeah.
We're selling the Christianity where we're saying that men and women are the same. I know I'm going to get slack for this, but that's okay. I spend too much time in my closet time with God. Men and women are the same. No, they're not.
No, we're not.
Just look at your body features and you realize we are not. Just step by step, we are not. But when the strength that I have is benefit for who? Is it for me or is it for her? The Bible says she's the fragile one, yet I'm the strong one. So my strength is for her.
Yeah.
Oh, come on now.
We're trying to make it seem like it's for us because we want this equal rights. Satan felt that he wanted to be exactly like God, equal to him. I think I shared this one time with you, but Genesis chapter 1 is an interesting chapter because it says, and God made two great lights. The next verse, he says, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. Hold up. He starts off saying there are two great lights. Then he says the greater light for the day and the lesser light for the night. The greater light is the sun. The lesser light is the moon. Well, wait a minute. Are they the same? Yeah, they're both great. But now one has to be more intense, the sun. So that makes it greater because of the atmosphere they placed in.
Come on.
The moon then has to be lesser because you don't need that sort of intensity for the night. So the moon and the sun are doing the same, but they are not equal. They're given strength adequate for their atmosphere.
Yeah.
Not adequate to boast, I'm greater than you are, when he himself established two great lights. Both of them are great. But one is lesser because with the atmosphere that to function in, you don't need the intensity of the sun. And the moon can't be in the day because it's not enough light. But the moon in its atmosphere is great. The sun in the atmosphere is great. There's the equalness of greatness. But one is a greater light and one is a lesser light.
Wow.
We like to downplay this because we want it to be equal. Imagine if the moon and the sun began to want to fight over being equal. We have a problem.
Yeah.
If the sun were to want to be light at night, we would never have night.
Yeah.
And if the moon wanted to rule in the day, we would never have day. We have to understand the privilege of the difference that we are. One time, I think I heard it said from Ruben Blades. And so that's such that a lot of people, oh, that's not a Christian. That's okay. The truth is it's not just Christians' property. Whoever has an ear, it's the first time I heard it from Ruben. I don't know if Ruben was the one that said that, but Ruben Blades said the following: the one thing we have in common is that we are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one thing we have in common. So going back to what I'm saying here, this equal right movement, the first person to ever advocate it was the enemy. Now, doesn't that, you and I, we send a lot of Instagram things to each other. Doesn't that defy a lot of the nonsense we're listening in Instagram? Everybody wanting to be equal. Could you enjoy that? There are things at home where I'm not the stronger one. My wife is. And there are times at home where I am the strong one. I'm not talking about physical. I'm talking just strength, power in a particular area. And that's what makes the home so beautiful. Imagine if your transmission decides, no, I want to be the motor, and the motor says, no, I want to be the transmission. Will the car function?
No.
So how are we trying to be equal when that was never God's plan? It was never his intention. Years ago, when I've been in evangelism since I've been a kid, I've been in this since I've been a kid. I remember pastors saying a lot. There was a time where the pastors weren't saying that, and I remember that as I grew, they began to say, me and the people are the same. Major mistake. No, you're not. You're being called to lead. That already makes you different. I'm being called to follow. That already makes me different. Equal rights, this equal rights movement is even in the house of God. How many sheep are saying they're better than their pastor? Moses, we could look at diversities of stories. No, I'm not going to go with Moses. I'm going to go with, there's just a diversity of individuals that basically wanted to be, it was Moses. Remember Miriam, his sister, and Aaron? They got to the place where they were protesting because they said, you think God only talks to you. That was an equal right moment. Mm-hmm. God was talking to Miriam. Yes, he was a prophetess. Was he talking to Aaron? Yeah. But who was in charge there?
Moses. We
don't like, listen, we're living in a time where, hey, nobody tells me what to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you're living with that mentality, you don't understand what it is to be a servant.
And it's really hard for you to learn when you feel like you don't want nobody to teach you anything. You don't want nobody to correct you. You don't want nobody to show you anything.
No eres pastoreable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I use the term, you're not teachable.
You're not teachable.
And that happens not only in like church or, like religion. It happens in your personal life overall. Like if you in your marriage, you're not able to listen to your partner, like basically an advice, 4 sets of eyes are going to see more than what you're able to see, and that's something that I tried explaining to my wife when we were talking, because I tell her, I was like, I haven't lived the exact same life you have left, like I haven't been through the things you've been through, but you haven't been through mine. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'm saving you from somewhere that I've already been. I'm saving you somewhere that, like I'm here to lead you, and I'm here to save you from like things that can happen to you.
Yes.
So it's really interesting that you bring that point up, that sometimes people don't understand, or sometimes people are not willing to listen to anybody or like look at other perspectives,
Even the Bible tells us submit to earthly authorities. Mm-hmm. The only time we could defy that text is when earthly authorities now are telling us that we cannot serve our God. So we have had presidents that were scammers and all this, the list go on, but we were to submit to them. But the moment they wanted us to be scamming, no, that's when you draw the line. No, that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So it's telling us to submit to, in order to submit, the word submit is to come under. But we have this equal rights movement. Yeah. How do you biblically, an apostle, it started off as a disciple. Mm-hmm. So who was your teacher, apostle, before you ended up being an apostle? Mm-hmm. If you didn't have a teacher, then how are you an apostle? There was an order. Mm-hmm. There was an order. And it wasn't equal rights. The equal rights advocate was Satan himself.
And now that you say that, I remember as a kid, when I was growing up, you got to remember too, the barbershops were only for men.
Only for men.
Beauty salons were only for women. And now you see unisex. Yeah. Like everybody's mixing it up.
Just
everybody. Yeah.
Equal rights. I mean, we want the rights to be equal for everybody. And God doesn't work that system. Mm-hmm. And just in case somebody said, hold on a minute, he took a shot at apostles. Listen, prophets were students under other prophets. Mm-hmm. If I have not been a student under any prophet, how dare I say I am a prophet? Mm. So I can bring it down to every individual there. How can you be a pastor if you never were sheep? There's an order. There's an order. How could you be a teacher if you never were a student? There's an order. How can you win souls as an evangelist if you never were a soul yourself, lost? Mm-hmm. That's protocol. Mm-hmm. So we can't try to level the playing field by us having equal rights and throwing God's agenda away. This is the enemy's lie, and this is why the first person to advocate equal rights was Satan. And by the way, he was disguised as something else when he did this. He was disguised as a serpent. So how do you justify disguising yourself to then speak a truth? How do you go ahead and now you're going to disguise yourself? Now it's not just saying, but it's seen. Now here you come as a serpent, so I'm thinking you're a serpent.
Yeah.
So he's going to use deception even visually to sell his lie, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
He's going to sell it.
Yeah.
The enemy has to look like a lie, to speak a lie in order to sell it as if it was the truth. I'm going to say that again. The enemy has to look like a lie, speak a lie in order to sell it as if it was the truth. Mm-hmm. Lies are detours while truth is destiny. Lies are exits while truth is entrance. When a lie is spoken to you and you believe it is an exit out of what God designed for you. When truth is spoken to you, you believe it is an entrance into what God has told you. So lies are detours and truth are destiny. Lies are exits and truth is entrance. Hear me out. The way you choose to dress up is either a disguise or a declaration.
Come on.
Say it again.
The way you dress up is either a disguise or a declaration.
Could you explain that?
Yeah, the enemy came in like a serpent. So he was dressed up as a disguise. He was not dressed up as a declaration. Have you ever seen individuals that didn't dress up nothing but pure basketball gear? Mm-hmm. You're not a basketball player, but yet you're wearing the gear. So that is a disguise. Now, I understand being a fan. That's fine. But you're not a basketball player. Mm-hmm. So that's a disguise. We have ministers. They go up on our pulpit, dress up like millionaires that they're not. That's a disguise. So you wear you wear a Gucci belt that's what, $300. I don't know the price, and shoes are $400. And dude, you can barely make the rent, meet the rent. So you either dress up to disguise something or you dress up to declare something. This is why God uses the term. Here goes the truth. Here goes a major problem. The Bible says that we're to dress up like the stars. Not the movie stars, the stars. It says dress up moderately like the stars. Now, when I looked up the stars, you know what the stars do? The stars don't call glory to themselves. The beauty of the stars is declaring the God that made them. So what he's saying, dress up where you are declaring the God that designed you. Not dress up like you're a movie star. Come on, we know the mess, the dress up that there's a message I preached only one time. Man, it's been years, and it's called Dress Up, What a Mess Up. God had them naked in the garden, and when men and women makes their first clothes, they use fig. You see, they messed up the dress up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what we're doing. So the enemy knows how to use disguise, and God knows how to dress up to bring his declarations. Hear me out. Faith is the ascending of the mind to the truth of what God has declared. So what we do is, faith is the ascending. Our mind now ascends to the truth of what God has declared. Faith does not rely on any evidence. It is hinged purely on God's spoken word.
I was talking the other day with Angeli, mm-hmm. and she gave me that point. Like she told me, Mom, now they're just saying, or somebody was just saying like, oh, you just got to pray. And she's like, but how do you learn how to pray? Like, you got to read the Bible, and that's how God's going to talk to you, and that's how you're going to learn how to pray. Like, everything goes, and people are just taking the Bible out the way. And now the Bibles that are coming out actually don't have anything about fasting or praying or Jesus.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they're admitting that there's a God, but they're not letting you know the way to get to God, because Jesus is the way. Yeah. And if you're eliminating fasting, praying, and Jesus, what are we gonna do? So the generations to come. Yeah,
it's scary.
Oh yeah,
it's scary. There's a class I want to teach in AA. Most likely when I finish this class, it's called Tainted Translations, and I'm going to take a diversity of Bible scriptures. And I'm going by Bible translations and show you what's going on. There's some translation. Remember the part where Jesus was being baptized? Where Trinity's being showed. Says, and the Son was being baptized and the dove descended in the voice of God. So the three of them are being shown in that that particular text. So Jesus the Son, the Spirit, the dove descending is the type of the Holy Spirit, and the voice of God. The translation is just says he was baptized. Mm-hmm. There's literally one translation that literally said that Jesus spent his time in the bars. This is where our tainted translations are coming, and there's a generation that's trying to find the truth. Mm-hmm. And truth has become a hate speech.
On that note, I want to let you guys know that this next week we will be taking it right where we left off. We're gonna be going over, because this is a class, like I told you guys before. So there's multiple episodes. It's gonna come out every Friday at 5 p.m. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure that if anything of this topic is blessing you, is making you question, is making you do anything, just go ahead and leave it in our comments. We'll read them to Nino. Nino will be able to come back and just go ahead and answer to you and let you know or explain to you what it is that he meant, or what it is that, you know, the truth about the fact is, okay? So this has been another Jangueo de los Viernes con Nino Carrasquillo and my mom, Leslie Semide. So make sure that you guys look up on Facebook the AA
AA 5.0,
which are every third Tuesday of every month with Nino Carrasquillo, and he basically blows your mind there.
Oh my God!
And there he's by himself, so he doesn't really have like a, you know, like over here we give him the signs like, Nino, take it easy on him. Take it easy. So nothing. It's been a blessing today, and I look forward to the next episode. And next episode, make sure you have your notebook with you, so that way you can take notes.
They can always watch the video again, and then, because you know that's what I'm gonna do. Take notes.
But yeah, guys, thank you for watching, and we will be back next week with Nino Carrasquillo. Thank you, guys.
Blessings.